Hey guys, it's Vera Wild, and that means it is time once again for Dear Vera, a little advice column where you ask me questions related to cross-dressing and I answer them as best as I am able to. We'll get right into today's letter. Dear Vera, thank you for your videos, they're very helpful. I know that a lot of cross-dressers have to tuck in order to fit into certain clothes, but whenever I've tried to do it, it makes me want to vomit or cry. It's very uncomfortable for me and it feels a little creepy too. Is there a more comfortable way to hide a bulge? Is it possible to wear women's clothes and not have to move or hurt your genitals at all? Thanks, Leah. Well, Leah, unfortunately the short answer is no, there isn't really another way to completely hide the bulge. Now, that said, there are certainly alternatives to tucking, and I understand what you mean. Tucking, even when you get used to it, is not particularly comfortable, and it definitely does feel weird. It shouldn't be painful, but everyone's a little bit different, and some people, the level of discomfort might be more than you're okay to deal with, certainly for an extended period of time. So what I would say is tucking is really the only way that you're going to open yourself up to be able to wear pretty much any female garment that you want. If you are not going to tuck, then the undergarment that I've talked about before, the gaff, which is thong style and thick fabric and very strong elastic, which I've talked about with tucking before, will still help because it's going to hold everything firmly enough that even if you're not tucking it back and it's just sitting where it does normally, it will press it more against your body and minimize any sort of general bulging that would otherwise happen. Now that said, you're still going to want to avoid overly tight clothes, that particularly in that area, if you're not going to tuck back. You're going to want to go with something a little bit more flowy, free-form, something like what I have now, because I am actually not tucked back right now, but you would not be able to tell that because it's not clinging anywhere here in a way that would be noticeable if there was or was not a bulge. So if you're not going to tuck back, just try and wear undergarments that are going to hold everything in tightly so that it flattens out as much the bulge as possible. Gaffs are good for that. If you want to layer a little bit more than that, put some Spanx over it, something like that. That'll help smooth that out even more. The bulge will still be there to some extent, but it won't have necessarily the outline of your genitals. It'll just be just a slight bump. So you will still want to avoid certain types of clothes if you're not going to tuck back, but it's certainly not a requirement for you to be able to put on women's clothes at all. It's just a question of what your style is and what sort of clothes you want to be able to wear. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope that you continue your journey into cross-dressing, Leah, and best of luck with everything. So keep those questions coming, guys. Until next time.